Good day everyone, my name is Blas Pelicano and my topic is all about Introduction to Imaging and Design for Social Impact. So with the rise of platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, visual content can quickly reach global audiences and raise awareness about important issues. As it is easy to understand and emotionally engaging, creating effective designs requires empathy, research, and an understanding of the audience and cultural context. Ultimately, this field highlights that design is not just about aesthetic, but it's also about storytelling, advocacy, and contributing to a better future. So here, let's talk about different platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram that we are used in our daily lives. So these platforms can help also to raise awareness as a citizens or as a student. But this platform help us aware of what's happening in our society. Also, it help also the students especially to be more effective, especially in education, effective education, and it talks about also not just a aesthetic, but also can be talk about the lives or the cultural context. Also help the students to be more become a researcher and gaining new ideas of this platform. So number one, we have the visual design is used to create positive social change. It combines creativity and purpose to influence people, thoughts, and actions. For example, I'll give you one example. A poster campaign encouraging people to reduce plastic used to protect the environment. So it helps people to be more creative or to be more creative in a positive way, such as reducing. Examples that is reducing and recycling the materials that can be used to our society. Number two, we have the digital platforms. Help spread awareness quickly and widely. Social media makes it easier to reach global audiences and discuss the important issues. For example, a video on Instagram raising awareness about the mental health that goes viral and educate thousands of viewers. So here's an example. It just like getting awareness of being what is happening to our society, and to not just to our society but all over the world. These digital platforms can help us to be aware when it comes to awareness and protection. Number three, we have effective social impact design requires empathy and understanding. So designer must research their audience and context to create meaningful and respectful content. For example, a documentary about education in rural areas that reflects the real experiences of the community and inspires support. I think that would be all. That's the end of my discussion, and thank you for listening or watching this video. Have a nice day and thank you so much.
Hello everyone, good day. In this video, we're gonna talk about imaging and design for social impact. And in this topic, we have the graphic design fundamental. But first, before we proceed, I am Jerlan Esmicolog from B2B TED LX3C. And now let's proceed. When we say graphic design fundamental, it is the process of using text, image, colors, and shape to communicate ideas visually. So it is the way of communicating by using the text, image, colors, and shapes. The term graphic designs was first used by William Addison Dwiggins in 1992. Graphic design is used in many things like PowerPoint presentations, websites, mobile apps, posters, logos, and paintings. In graphic design fundamental, we have these five basic elements. First, we have the line, shape, form, texture, and balance. When we say line, it is a kind of shape which connects two or more points, where line can be thick, thin, curved, and jagged. And here the example of thin, thick, curvy, and jagged line. Next, let's proceed to shape. When we talk about shape, it is a two-dimensional external boundaries of an object where any object outline that has height and width can be considered as a shape. Shape In the shape we have the two major categories. First we have the geometric and second we have the organic. When we say geometric, these are regular shape and mathematical shape. And for the organic, these are the free-form shape. When we say organic, here are the example where we are using in mathematics. We have square, rectangle, triangle, heart, stars, rectangle, circles, and others. And for the organic, it is the shape that can be found in nature, like leaves, fruits, clouds, fire, and others. Next, we have the form. Form is a three-dimensional shape, shadows, perspective, depth, and sometimes textures creates a form. Without these attributes, a form is just a shape or a series of shapes. Plain image or objects and flat designs can be enhanced by adding shadows or lighting to create an illusion of a form. And here is the example of a form where you can see some shadows to create an illusion that it is a real object. Next, we have the texture. When we say texture, it refers to the physical quality of the surface of an object. It in an artwork or design. It also refers to how an object looks or feels like, and an object might be smooth, rough, shiny, hard, and soft. So, when we say texture, we are talking about the surface of an object. And it can be 3D or real texture, o yung nahawakan mo talaga, or 2D, visual texture, kung saan nakikita mo lang. This texture adds depth and visual interest to the flat image or objects. And here are the example of actual texture and visual texture. When we say actual texture, it is yung nahawakan mo talaga. Like your phone. Nahawakan mo yan. And it is called actual texture kasi nahawakan mo actually. And visual texture is yung nakikita mo sa loob ng CP mo, like this presentation na, or yung nakikita mo sa presentation na picture, which is break. Kung nakikita mo lang yan and hindi mo nahawakan, it is an visual texture. But if nahawakan mo yan, it is an actual texture. Now let's proceed to balance. A balance is a design feels stable and not too heavy on one side. It is done by arranging elements like color, shape, and space based on their visual weight. When we say balance, we have the two types of balance. First, we have the symmetric balance, and second, we have the asymmetrical balance. When we say symmetrical balance, it is where both sides are equal or the same. Then it's like a mirror. If you fold it, both sides it match, and it feels formal, clean, and organized. And then if you say about asymmetrical balance, it says about both sides are different but it still feels balanced. And then it's used different elements with equal visual weight. And also it feels more creative and dynamic. And here are the example of balance. If you see the color blue on the left side, it is the symmetrical balance where both sides has the same shape. And for the right side, we have the square and four circles. It is also a balance but asymmetrical, where it doesn't have the same shape, and but still it is a balance because it has the same weight. And that's all po. Thank you everyone. Hope na marami kang natutunan in this presentation. Bye po.
So, hello everyone. Hello teacher. I'm Nina Rica J. Adalid po. And my topic was all about branding and identity. So, branding and identity. Branding is simple what people think about you, your company, your product, or your service. For example, we think of Albert Einstein as a epitome of intelligence, and that is how he was branded. And identity or visual identity is the visual representation of a brand. It can be a form of image, choice, or color of a typography, and many more. So, the branding is the process of creating a unique image, name, design, symbol, or message that represent a person, a business, product, or organization. It helps people recognize and remember what the brand stands for. And in the identity, so identity refers to the visual emotional elements of a brand. It includes the logo, colors, typography, slogan, packaging, and overall style that makes the brand different from others. So there's a 7 steps to create a brand identity designs. So the first one is establish clear purpose and positioning. Recall why you or your company exists, who your target audience are, and what makes you or your service unique from your competitors. So here in the establish clear purpose and positioning is these steps means identifying why your brand or business exists and what makes it different from others, like from the competitors. You must know your target audience and the message you want to people to remember about your brand, and clear purpose help guide all branding decisions. Like for the example, in the a school a school supply business may position itself as affordable and student friendly. So next is conduct through market research. Having a deep analysis on your target audience, on what their personalities are, which will lead to the next steps. So the market research is the process of studying your audience, competitors, and trends. It helps you understand what customers like, needs, and expect. This information will help you create a brand that connects to people. So, like for the example, if the teenagers are your target audience, you may use modern designs and social media market. So next is get a personality. Based on your research, determine your brand's personality. Brand personality makes a huge impact on the visual of your marketing materials. So here in get a personalities, that these are the brand personality. A brand personality is a human characteristics connects to a brand. It shows how the brand acts or communicates with people. Your personality should match your audience and business goals. Like for example, the friendly and fun, professional and formal, create and artistic. A strong personality makes the brand more memorable, so that they can remember your brand. Fourth one is create a polished logo. In creating your logo, it should be simple, scalable, and memorable. Observe the logos of famous companies like Amazon, Google, and IBM. And what IBM. What do these logos have in common? So, a logo is a main symbol of a visual mark of a brand. It should be simple, easy to recognize, and memorable. A good logo works um, in different size and platforms. For example, famous logos, yeah, like Google, Amazon's Amazon are simple but instantly recognized. So the fifth one is create an attractive color palette. Your color palette should be simple and contain one to three primary colors. Once you have established your color palette, you may play with their color family. For example, if you choose blue as your primary color, you may use sky blue, baby blue, and other color under the blue family to support your primary color. So, a color palette is a set of colors used in your brand identity. Colors affect emotionals and help people identify your brand quickly. It is better to use only a few main colors to keep the design clean and consistent. For example, blue often represents trust and professionalism, professionalism, while red represents energy and excitement. Next is select professional typography. So when selecting fonts, it is important to consider these things. Do not make it fancy. Fancy typefaces only make your text confusing. Next is don't mix fonts, typefaces. Do not mix fonts or typefaces in a word or sentence as it may give mixed interpretations to your audience. Last is mix contrasting fonts, typefaces. This is not similar to the above item. This means you may use serif typefaces for your product's title and sans serif for the subtitle. So typography refers to the style and appearance of text or fonts. Good typography improves readability and gives the brand a professional look. So so the most important tips is, yeah, the first one is do not do not make it too fancy because because difficult fonts are hard to read. So next is do not mix too many fonts because it can look messy. So the third is use contrasting fonts properly, such as the combining serif and sans serif fonts for balance. For example, like using a bold font for titles and simple fonts for subtitles. So last is choose on brand supporting graphics. Your brand identity should have a visual library that includes icons, images, photographs, design assets, and other supporting graphics. So supporting graphics include icons, image, illustration, and design elements that match your identity. These visuals help strengthen the brand and makes design more attractive and consistent. Example, a nature theme brand may use leaf icons, green colors, and outdoor photographs. So, the 7 steps help create. So, all I mentioned is very important to create a brand and to identify because the 7 steps helps create a strong and consistent brand identity when purpose, logo, colors, typography, and graphic works together. The brand becomes more recognizable, professional, and memorable to people. So that's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Camilo Alfonso from BTBT 3C. Today I will discuss about layout and composition and the different principles used in design. So, layout and composition are the building blocks of design. These two focus on arrangement of your design or elements on your design. Your good text, images, or other elements in the graphic will turn to waste if your layout is not well composed. So, layout and composition are the building blocks of design. This means they are very important when creating any kind of design. They focus on how we arrange different elements like text, images, and shape. If these elements are not arranged properly, even if they are beautiful, the design will not look good or effective. That is why having a well-organized layout is very important. It helps make the design clear, balanced, and easy to understand. So, and also, we should not confuse the word layout and layout. Layout is a verb which means to arrange something. For example, I will lay out the picture on the page. On the other hand, layout is a noun. It refers to how the elements are arranged in the design. So try to imagine in if we having a family reunion, you are grouped by family, and anyone doesn't have any relation to your family should be separate. So in the design, blocks, text, or graphics that are related should be grouped together to make your design easier to understand. So now let's discuss the different principles of layout and composition. We have here five basic principles of layout and composition. First, we have proximity. Second, white space. Third, alignment. Fourth, contrast. And fifth, repetition. So first, we have proximity. So proximity is the process of placing related elements together. Elements that are not related to group should be separate to show that these elements are not related to the group. So proximity means place. So proximity means placing related elements close to each other. If the elements are not related, they should be separate. This help people understand the design more easily. In the design, text, picture, or graphics that belong together should be grouped together. This makes the design look organized and not confusing. Like for example, in a school poster, the title, date, and venue of an event should be placed close to each other because they are related information. But other details like sponsor or contact information can be placed separately. Next, we have white space. So white space is not literally the white space that we found on the design, but rather the negative space between lines, graphics, paragraphs rather, and elements on the design. So, so white space, sabi nga, is doesn't not really mean the color white in that design. It refers to the empty or blank space between lines, paragraphs, pictures, and other elements in a design. White space is important because it have the design clean, organized, and easy to read. Without enough white space, a design can look crowded and confusing. Like for example, in a poster or presentation, if the text and picture are too close, people may find it hard to read. But if there is enough space between the elements, and design becomes clearly and more attractive. So here in so Patrick Hedge described white space as compared white space to silence in music. Just like music needs silence to sound organized and pleasant, design also needs white space to look balanced and easy to understand. So there are two types of white space. So first we have micro white space, mini space between paragraphs, lines, menu, items, or other elements in a design composition. So, micro white space, these are the small space between lines, paragraphs, words, menu, items, or other small elements in a design. Even though the space are small, they are important because they make the text easier to read and understand. For example, the space between sentence and paragraph in the books. Our presentation are considered micro white space. Second is macro white space, large spaces between contents and elements. So, macro white space, these are the larger spaces between contents or major elements in a design. Macro white space helps makes the design look clean, balanced, and less clouded. For example, in the poster, the large empty space around pictures or titles are example of macro white space. So, second, we have third, we have alignment. Alignment helps design to organize different elements in their composition. This is similar to the alignment that we see in MS Word or other productive productivity tools. So, alignment helps design organize the different elements in a design, such as text, pictures, and shape. It makes the composition look neat, balanced, and easy to understand. This is similar to alignment option we use in MS Word or other applications. Proper alignment gives this design a clear structure and make it look more professional. So like for example, most books and documents use left alignment because it is easier to read. Inventations or titles often use center and alignment to make them more formal and attractive. So next we have contrast. So contrast means one element is opposite to the other element. This doesn't not only apply to colors but to typeface, and size of elements as well. So contrast means making one element different or opposite from other element. This can be seen is in colors, size, shapes, or even styles of text. So contrast is important because it helps catch the attention of the viewers. It also helps give emphasis emphasize and makes the design easier to understand. Like for example, use a big bold title with small simple text below in creates contrast. So another example is using dark text on a light background so the words can be read clearly. So contrast doesn't not only make the design attractive, but it is also the helps guides the viewer's eyes to the important parts of the design. So lastly, repetition. So repetitions simplify means to use the same type spaces, color, playtests, or other elements to achieve consistency in your composition. This creates unity in your compositions or makes your projects connected to each other. So so here the repetitions means using the same colors, fonts, shapes, or styles throughout in a design. This creates consistency and unity in the design. For example, we for example here in the repetition, so if we create a PowerPoint presentation, you should use only the same color, plated, or textiles in all your slides. And that's all to my report. Thank you.
Hi everyone, let's discuss typography. But before we start, let me define what typography is. Typography is the way text is designed and arranged to make it easy to read and visually appealing. It includes things like font style, example, the Arial Times New Roman, the font size, big or small letters, spacing between letters and lines, text alignment, the left, center or right, then the last one is bold or italic styles. So typography is how we design and arrange letters and words in writing or on screen to make them readable and attractive. It includes choosing fonts, styles, sizes, and how the text is spaced. Now, let's proceed. Three types of fonts. We have serif, sans serif, and display. Now, let's define first what serif is. Serif fonts are fonts that have little strokes called serif on each end of the letter. They are typically used in formal or traditional projects. So, serif fonts these have small feet or lines at the ends of the letter. So here is the example, the Times New Roman and the Georgia. So where it used? Mostly in books, newspaper, and school essays. So next, we have sans serif. Sans serif are fonts with no extra strokes. Sans serif simply means without serifs, as sans is French word for without. These fonts are normally found in mobile phones and computer screens. So again, sans serif fonts, sans means without, so these fonts do not have little lines at the ends. For example, Arial and Helvetica were used mostly in websites, apps, and presentations. So the last, we have display fonts. Display fonts are sometimes called fancy or decorative fonts. It can be script, black letter, or caps. So display fonts are fonts that are designed to stand out and grab attention. So for example, bold poster fonts, decorative title fonts. So simple comparison of serif fonts, sans serif, and display fonts. Serif fonts are traditional and formal. Sans serif are modern and simple. And display fonts are creative and used for attention-grabbing design. So that's all for my topic. Thank you for listening.
Good day everyone. My name is Anami Jundael and I am the second to the last reporter. So today I am going to discuss about color theory. So color theory is the study of colors and how they work together. It helps artists, designers, and photographers, and even businesses create visual appealing designs and communicate emotions effectively. So in this report, I will explain the basic elements of color theory. So the different colors and the different color schemes. Color theory is a basically guide to how colors work together and how they affect that we see and we feel. So before we proceed to the different color schemes, let us discuss first some terminologies used in color. So the first one is hue. Actual color. This is the actual color like red, blue, and yellow. And then the second one is the saturation. So saturation, it is the how pure or colorful a color looks. We have two types of saturation. The first one is the high saturation. High saturation is this when the color is bright and strong. Like for example, bright red, neon blue, and neon green, and bright yellow. And then the next one is the low saturation. This the color looks faded or grayish, like yung mga old photos, yung black and white. Example, the dusty pink, pale blue, olive green, and muted brown. So these colors less bright siya para di siya masakit sa mata. So the third one is the value. So value, we have two types of value. So the first one, light value. So ito na yung mga color na looks brighter. Like for example, no, sky blue, mint green, and light pink. So this color looks soft and bright. So closer siya sa white. Kasi nga yung white is di masakit sa mata. So the next one is the dark value. So ito na yung mga color na looks deeper or darker. So like for example, navy blue, maroon, and dark purple. So this color is deep. So deep color siya and heavy color. So closer siya sa black kasi parang mix up kasi para siyang mix with black. Let's proceed to the color schemes. So color schemes, these are the group of color or mixed together. We have the primary colors. So the primary colors, we have the red, blue, and yellow. So you can't mix another colors to make them. Like kasi yung primary colors is special siya. Di siya or original siya kasi nga yung primary color is ginagamit siya para makagawa ng ibang color, like for example, green, purple, and orange. So if you mix blue and yellow equals green, kalabasan niya is green, and if you mix red to blue, ay too yellow, yung kalabasan niya is orange. So, let's proceed to the secondary color. So, secondary color is this color is the green, orange, and purple. So, made by mixing two primary color mix of primary color. Like for example, kanina is the red plus blue equals purple. So, blue plus yellow is, kalabasan niya is green. And then the last one, red plus yellow, kalabasan niya is orange. So, let's proceed to the tertiary color. So, made by mixing a primary plus a secondary color. So, like for example, red and orange, yung kalabasan niya is reddish orange. And then yellow and orange, kalabasan niya man is golden orange. And then the last one, blue and green, kalabasan niya man, yung kalabasan niya naman is ocean color. So ginagamitan siya ng one color but in a different version. Like for example, if green, meron siyang light green, dark green, mint green, and olive green. Kapag one color with many shades. And then the next one, achromatic color schemes uses no real color only black, white, and gray. And then the next one, analogous color scheme is a group of three colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Like for example, blue, green, and green. So this color is nakikita natin siya in the nature kasi nga parang calm color lang siya tignan. And then the next one, complementary color scheme. So, combination ng dalawang color that opposite to each other on the color wheel. Like pag pinagsama sila, they create a strong contrast color. Like for example, blue and orange, red and green, yellow and purple. So, these color combinations used to make designs more bold and eye-catching din siya, or parang madali siya mapansin kasi nga light color siya. And then we have the split complementary, so uses one main color and two colors next to opposite in the color wheel. Like for example, if yung main color na napili mo is blue, then the opposite color is orange, so yung split color is red, orange, and yellow. It creates contrast but is still balanced and soft lang siya tignan. Triadic color scheme. So, it uses colors that form an equilateral triangle. So, combination siya ng primary color, secondary color, or tertiary color. And then the last one is the RGB. So, RGB means red, green, and blue. So, this color used for designs that are intended for the screen. And then the last one, CMYK. So, CMYK means cyan, magenta, yellow, and key black. And that's all. Thank you.
So, good day everyone. I'm Eunice May Salazar. I'm from BTV TED CCT 3C. So, my topic is all about the images and visual elements. So now let's tackle about images. So images are not just limited to photographs. It also includes graphics and other illustration. Having image in your composition makes it appealing to the eyes of the viewer. So example is yung magazine. Pag walang pictures, yung isang magazine is hindi natin na-imagine kung ano yun or ano kasi nakaka-boring. So, and also, hindi matatawag na magazine yon kung walang image. Next is we have two categories of image file types. We have the vector and the raster. So, vector, it is a type of image that does not lose its quality when zoomed in. Your image will not be pixelated when enlarged. On the other side naman, yung raster is opposite to vector. Raster images become pixelated when enlarged. So, yung pixelated po, ito yung example is yung game sa Minecraft. graph. Diba, parang mga box siya. Yun po yung pixelated. Next is we have the vector image file extension. We have the EPS and the AI. So EPS stands for encapsulated postscript. So this vector format are designed to produce high-resolution graphics for print. Being a universal file type, EPS files can be opened in any editor. Next is AI, or Adobe Illustrator document. A most preferable and commonly used image file type by designers. If you want to create a vector image, AI is one of the best tools for you. Next is we have raster image file extensions. So we have the JPG or JPEG, PNG, and GIF. So JPG or JPEG stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group. This file type is the most commonly used image file type. Since this is a raster type of image, JPEG images are known for their lossy compression, meaning the image quality decreases when being enlarged. Next is PNG or Portable Network Graphics. This file type is known for having a transparent background. Images in this type are commonly used in web documents. And lastly, we have the GIF or the graphics interchange format. This file type is known in its animated form. You can find them in social networking sites as posts or comments. GIFs are often used in web pages as they can load quickly due to its reduced file size. So, that's all for my report. Thank you.